Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So, as all of you know, Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time. I've said this on many occasions, but as a Kobe fan, I also acknowledge that Jordan was better. In my opinion, not only is Jordan the best basketball player of all time, he is also the greatest. And not enough people spend enough time making that distinction. I think whenever we say greatness, this term gets thrown a lot of, I'm greatness, I'm striving for greatness, whatever the hell that means, right? Striving for greatness, what does it mean? Are you trying to be successful? Are you trying to make a lot of money? Are you trying to be in the best shape of your life? Are you trying to have the best relationships in your life? Are you trying to, go out there and, help poor people? What does it mean when I'm saying I'm trying to be? But in this particular instance, I want to quickly illustrate the distinction between being the best and the greatest. Michael Jordan was the best basketball player on the court that ever lived. Right? All the data is out there, but he's also the greatest because of his impact, not just on the game, as far as, the way players looked up to him, but his impact off the court. Michael Jordan made the average sports viewer give a damn about basketball when they otherwise wouldn't, right? Jordan brought in a global audience, and he really took the NBA as a product, as a brand, to a different level. Of course, you had Magic Johnson and Larry Bird that were really saving the league, and then Jordan took it to another level that I don't think any other player has been able to do so. Since then, just go and look at the viewership numbers in the NBA finals and all that. I mean, Jordan was bringing in, 20, 30 million viewers per game to watch NBA games, NBA finals games. So Jordan is on another level. And when you combined his play on the court with his impact off the court, it has turned him into a global icon that will not be forgotten. Even look at the Last Dance docuseries. That docuseries, forget about the fact that it broke a lot of ESPN's records if we're talking about viewership. Now, some people say it was during the lockdown. If they play The Last Dance today, it would still do very, 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 very well because we're talking about Michael Jordan. But apparently, Dwayne Wade, who a lot of people do not give enough credit, we try to do our best to give Dwayne Wade credit on this channel, but Dwayne Wade seems to feel otherwise. I think Dwayne Wade basically came out with some comments, and he basically says that he doesn't believe that Jordan will be as, remembered as, thought of the way he is today in the future. So we got this article from CBS Sports. So we want to quickly get into some of the comments that Dwayne Wade made, and then we're going to come back here and give you guys our thoughts. So basically, the article starts off, Dwayne Wade says Michael Jordan will be forgotten in the GOAT conversation, just like we forgot about Kareem. We're not going to be ones having a conversation about GOATs, Wade said on his generation of basketball players and fans that grew up with Jordan on a recent episode of Armchair Expert podcast with Dax Shepard and Monica Padman. Now it's going to be the younger generation, and you're going to forget about Jordan like we forgot about Kareem. He continues on, I watch players play today and I'm like, I thought I was good, but they're way better than me, Wade said. The game continues to keep moving forward, and so we're going to continue to see things we've never seen before, and the eyes are going to get younger and younger. And what I want to do in this video is something that I really love. I want to systematically break down why this isn't true and really get into the advanced numbers here, because I know there's a lot of hyperbolic language that gets thrown out there in sports, in the sports world, and people tend to run with things that people say on TV, and then they come out and then they run around, regurgitating that information, but there's no real basis for it. So today I want to really break it down for you guys, and I think a good amount of our viewers enjoy these type of videos that we produce where we really get into things here. So first of all, his argument is that players today are more skilled. That's not true. LeBron or any of these players, if you think about LeBron James, who some people consider to be the best player of his generation, is not more skilled than Michael Jordan. LeBron has been a part of this generation. He's in year 19. The guy's been part of the NBA for the last 2 decades, right? He came in with Dwayne Wade himself, with Carmelo Anthony and these guys, and no one is going to argue that LeBron James is more skilled than Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. No one would argue. If you understand basketball, you would know that, right? I think people who have a kind of convoluted understanding of basketball don't really understand when people are talking about skill. People don't really get that. And I've heard some arguments, but it's not true, right? So that's the first thing. The fact of the matter is this: players today are not more skilled. Players today are simply shooting more three-pointers. And people somehow have confused skill with three-point shooting. It's not the same thing at all. Players today are shooting more threes. The 1998 Chicago Bulls, as a team, were attempting 14.1 three-pointers a game as a team. Today, this season, as we currently speak, Stephen Curry by himself is averaging 13.1 3-point attempts per game. I want you guys to mull that information over. Stephen Curry is virtually averaging the same amount of threes than the entire 1997-98 Chicago Bulls team attempted for a team. Okay, Stephen Curry's averaging more threes. The 2015-16 Golden State Warriors team were attempting 31.5 three-pointers per game. And in 2022, the Golden State Warriors are attempting 39.7 three-pointers a game. The league average for three-pointers attempted when Jordan with the 1998 Chicago Bulls was about 15 a game. Today, the league averages 35.5 three-pointers a game. They are simply shooting more threes, hence they're getting better at it. That is the explanation, folks. There's no magic here. It's not like, oh, well, these guys are making so many threes. They must be more skilled. No, they're attempting more threes. There's no evidence whatsoever that suggests if players in the past 10, 20, 30 years ago emphasize the three and focus on shooting more three-pointers, that they wouldn't be able to shoot it at the level that players are shooting it. There's no evidence to support that notion. There's none whatsoever. If you have the evidence, please leave it in the comment section. What evidence do you have that says players in the past, if they tried to focus on shooting more threes, they wouldn't be able to make it at the level that players are making it? Please help me understand. Are their wrists different? Are their hands different? Are they jumping off the floor different? Are their follow-throughs different? Please explain to me why they won't be able to do it and why players today somehow miraculously can shoot three-pointers better than players. The fact of the matter is, back then, advanced analytics didn't exist. Analytics didn't exist. Today, there's three-pointers it's like a premium. Teams are focusing more on three-point because the advanced analytics say twos and threes, layups have a higher percentage. If you shoot more threes are more than two. That's the only reason. And therefore, teams are focusing on it. It has nothing to do with the fact that, players, if we're going to talk about skill, and I really want to break this down here, and I'm going to take my time. 90% of NBA players today cannot even shoot a mid-range pull-up jump shot at a consistent level. They cannot. Name 10 great mid-range shooters in the NBA. I can name you maybe 5 off my hand. Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan, and maybe Devin Booker. Who else? Those are pretty much, and Paul George probably. Those are pretty, there aren't that many amazing mid-range mid-range shooters. But I want you guys to, since players today are more skilled, I want you guys to name me players today that are more skilled than these guys that I'm about to bring up, because we want to get into the post-up game. People don't even talk about whenever we talk about skill, we don't even talk about posting up anymore. All the bigs today are running to the three-point line. Let's talk about players that can actually post up the basketball and actually have great footwork. Name me the players that are more skilled than Kevin McHale, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, Moses Malone, Michael Jordan, Bill Walton, Chris Bosh, Yao Ming, or Pau Gasol. Name me the players today that have a better post game than those guys that I just mentioned. Players today are not more skilled. They're just shooting more threes. No one with a brain that understands basketball, that has been watching basketball for more than 5 minutes or 25 games, would say that Kyrie Irving is more skilled than Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan. No one with a brain would say that. No one with a brain who has been watching basketball for more than 20 minutes will tell you that Kyrie Irving is more skilled than Michael Jordan and Kobe. He's not. Jordan and Kobe were more skilled than Kyrie Irving, and it's not even close. Yes, they could do pretty much every single thing Kyrie could do, except they could not handle the ball with the level of creativity that Kyrie Irving does as far as dribbling. Kyrie Irving, when it comes to dribbling, it's unbelievable. But when we're talking about finishing at the rim, have y'all watched any Michael Jordan highlights? Have y'all seen any Kobe Bryant, some of his layup package and his reverse layups? Have y'all seen any of that? These guys were finishing under the rim with Bigs with contact. Kyrie Irving, a lot of times when he's finishing, he's eluding contact. Those guys would finish with contact, with big guys slamming it. Have y'all watched any Michael Jordan highlights? For the people that go around and say, do people even, this is the problem that we have. Today in sports, we have so many voices and people follow so many people that when one person says something, they just quickly latch onto that thing that that person said and they run with it. And all of the thinking goes out of the window. Let me quickly break it down here. Kobe and Jordan are more skilled than Kyrie Irving, and I don't even think it's close. Ball handling wise, yes, Kyrie Irving is a more creative ball handler. But if we're talking about shot making, if we're talking about footwork, if we're talking about a post-up game, do y'all realize, let me just break this down for you guys, and I want to take my time here. Do y'all realize that the triangle offense is predicated, player movement and ball movement and being and having players that are able to post? Do y'all realize that Phil Jackson was running the triangle through Kobe Bryant out of the post and Michael Jordan? Let me repeat what I just said. When do you have a scenario in which a team is running an offense through the post using a guard? Jordan and Kobe were two guards and they were running the triangle. They would post Kobe up. Whenever they'll swing the ball and create the triangle, Kobe, they were running the offense through him the same way they ran it through Shaq. They were using Kobe and Jordan to run. If those guys were not excellent post players, there's no way the triangle offense would have been able to run through them. Do people even realize this? So when it comes to being able to post up, hit shots, fade away, these guys are unrivaled if we're talking about skill. And we're talking about players that come from 3 separate generations. Kobe is from the previous generation and Jordan is from the generation before him. So if we're going to talk about this thing over time, how is it possible that players are more skilled today when I just gave you 2 examples of players from that play basketball over the last 25 years that are more skilled than players today? How is this possible? But nevertheless, we still run out here and say this. So I don't think there's any argument that justifies that notion. I think the reason people say that players today are more skilled is simply because it's a nice it's a nice bailout that they can use to say, well, the reason my favorite player is not winning is because players are too skilled today. Y'all know who y'all are. The only reason you guys use that argument is because it's a nice out for you guys to say, well, my favorite player can't win today because players are too skilled, instead of simply saying, guys, my favorite player is just not good enough. How about that? How about that? How about the reason your favorite players cannot win is simply because they're not good enough? To his other point about Jordan being forgotten, Jordan will be remembered the same way Tupac Shakur will be remembered, the same way Michael Jackson will be remembered. Legends are eternal. When was the last time, or Biggie Smalls, when was the last time you heard a new Tupac album or a new? These guys have been gone for a long time, but nevertheless, if you ask anybody walking down the street, name your favorite 5 best hip hop artists, I guarantee you the majority of people will say Tupac in that. When was the last time Tupac made music? The late 90s? 1995, 1996? So what are we talking about here? About, these guys are going, he won't be forgotten. There's no way Jordan will be forgotten with the Jordan brand, and everywhere you walk around, you see people running out. There's no way that unless you're telling me people are so stupid, they're going to be wearing these Jordan shoes and nobody's going to ask, who is Jordan? So to me, I don't think Jordan will ever be forgotten, number 1. Number 2, players are not more skilled today. That's number 2. And let's just cut it out about with this whole thing about Jordan will be forgotten. He won't be forgotten. The same way you will not be able to talk about basketball in the future without mentioning Michael Jordan, the same way you won't be able to talk about film without mentioning Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. And they ain't never going to be forgotten, ever. Good quality things never get forgotten. So those are my thoughts and opinions on this. What I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about everything that I said? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.